measure maturity, a person's maturity, and how a person responds to the assumption of responsibilities. You will not entrust a child with a potentially dangerous mission. You say, child is not responsible. An adult is responsible. There's a whole gamut of responsibilities that a person can assume and should assume. Responsibilities between friends. If we're friends, I have a certain responsibility to the friendship. You have responsibilities at home. You have communal responsibilities. In Lashon HaKodesh, I imagine that responsibility is translated into Kabbalas Achrayus, the acceptance of Achrayus, of responsibility. I didn't know for myself. I know what it means to be responsible. But to define for myself, to see it closely, what is it in the human being? What does it do? What does it do to a human being to be responsible? What is the difference between it's vague. I think, as Hashem, I found in the Gemara, how the Chazal, what they define, what is responsibility, how they give us an insight to what is the assumption of responsibility, what it does to a person. Gemara in Tainus. The Gemara tells a story. Besura, in the city of Surah, Hafiz Dabarta. In the city of Surah, there broke out a plague, killing people on one of the sides. Deva, in Aramaic, Dabarta. Besura Hafiz Dabarta. The whole city was affected. People were dying in all sections of the city. But in the section where Rav lived, nobody died. Sovru minei mishum zechusei derav. So the people who discerned and saw that in all the sections of the city, people are being killed by a plague, and in the street and in the section of Rav, no one is dying. They say because Rav, the big tzaddik, is Rav, that is in his merit, he protects the whole street. Mishum zechusei derav, the nofesh. Rav is a big tzaddik, the nofesh. He has very many merits, so he protects the whole city, the whole section. His whole street is not affected. You know what happened? Is chaziluhu bechelma. Is chaziluhu bechelma. There appeared to the chachamim of that city in a dream. They had a dream. What did they dream? They dreamt Rav Nefisha Schuse Tuve. It read, oh, Rav has very many merits. He's a big tzaddik, Rav. The whole Nilsa Zutra Hilera. This, that people didn't die and were not affected by the plague in the section of Rav. This is a too small matter to attribute to such a great man like Rav. A little miracle like this, that all the people were dying and in that street nobody died, don't attribute it to Rav. It's too small to attribute this to Rav. So what happened? This was in a dream. Why didn't the people die? Ella, in a dream, it appeared to them, Mishumahu Gavra. There was a man that lived in that street, a plain, ordinary man. They called Mishayil Morad Zabila Lebekvula. The reason in whose chus was it that the people of that community, in that particular section, were unaffected by the plague? Not. In Rav, in the dream, it appeared to them, Rav is a very big tzaddik, you know, he's chusay. For him, it's a small, don't attribute it to Rav. Rav doesn't bother with such small things like plagues. He could stop a plague like nothing. Who stopped the plague? There was a man, an ordinary man. What was this man's distinction? How come he stopped the plague? He was an ordinary man. What was it? In those days, there were no undertakers. They didn't have all this fancy business. So you needed, the ground was hard rock, so you needed certain implements to dig the ground. If somebody was nipped or somebody passed away, and what, they were poor people. So this man had the instruments that could, he had a yimara v'zibula, it's a type of pick that could break through the rock. So he had these two instruments, and whenever there was need to be mekava somebody of Manal Islam, he loaned it to them. He gave them this. So the merit of his kindness, that whenever there was a moment of such a type of need, he is the one that warded off the plague from the whole street. Wait a minute. The Gemara continues. The Drukeres, there was a city called Drukeres. How does Delicta? In Drukeres, there was a different problem. Fires broke out. In America, you don't know what it means, a fire. In Europe, a fire broke out, but the whole city burned down. Those that know the history of Russia and Poland, the fire broke out in Europe. It was worse. It was like a plague. The whole city burned down. In Drukeres, had it licked. There was a big fire and the whole city was burning. The whole city burned down, but in the street of Rav Huna didn't burn. Fire stopped. Couldn't pass over to Rav Huna's street. Every street burned in the city except the street of Rav Huna. So the Jews in the city said, Rav Huna lives in a street, a tzaddik like Rav Huna. He's the fire insurance policy for the whole street. Nothing burned. Nothing burned. The Nalfish. That's big schuset. Here again the Gemara repeats, it's Chazel hu bechelma, there appeared to them in a cholim, and in a dream they dreamt, Rav Huna nefisha zechusay. Prove it. Rav Huna has very many schuset, very many merits. V'hoz zutrehu, Rav Huna. To start a fire, you don't need Rav Huna. Rav Huna was so big. To stop a fire is a paltry little thing. This is nothing. This was not Rav Huna who stopped this fire. Who stopped this fire? Ela mishumahi itzitza. A woman, she stopped the fire. How did she stop the fire? The mechanam tanure me'erev Shabbos le'erev Shabbos u'mishayla l'shvivus. This woman had a very good big oven. And Erev Shabbos, she put in a lot of wood, and she heated up the oven, and the women of the street used to come and bake challah in her oven. So because of this act of chesed, that she allowed and permitted the women of the section to come and bake in her oven, this is what stopped the fire. This is why B'Shvebuseh, Takarabuna lived in that street, and it wasn't a Kamhin that the fire stopped. No, it was a woman, an ordinary woman. An ordinary woman. But this woman had a merit. This woman had a merit that she allowed the other women who didn't have such a microwave oven like she had. So in that schus, the fire stopped. It couldn't go into the street. So Gemara in Tainis, in the third page, it must be around that days, I imagine. When you learn the Gemara, this is not a storybook. Chas v'shalom. You have to put your intellect into it. You have to put your mind into it. You have to ask questions. You have to understand. What did the Chachmei Hashas, what did they put down here? What are they trying to say to us? What goes on? Goes on. Rav lived in a street, the Gemara says, appeared to them in a dream. Rav didn't stop to play. A small change for him. Leave him out of the picture. Who? A Jew who had an instrument that could dig a grave, and when they needed it, chas v'sholem, this Jew stopped. He stopped the play. Avunah didn't stop the fire. Who stopped the fire? A woman, a kind woman, a congenial woman. She had an excellent oven, a big oven, it baked better than the other ovens, and she invited and allowed the other woman to bake challah and Shabbos. It stopped the fire in her street. The fire didn't burn. You have to ask the question. This man and this woman, what did they do? An act of chesed, an act of the most chesed. There was a need for this type of instrument to dig a cave, and you couldn't do it without it. He loaned it. Wonderful. There was a need for an oven. She loaned the oven. Admirable. Chesed. It's a big. How does we know that in schar v'oinish, in reward and in punishment has to correspond to the deed? It's midah keneged midah. He loaned a tool. She loaned another. A whole city burns. This stopped the fire. This stopped the plague. What is the connection? I mean, how does it connect? If the Gemara told the story that there was a man who had this type of shavlan loaned, it would be very nice. If the Gemara would tell us a story that there was a woman who had this type of another and invited other women to bake challah covered Shabbos in her oven, very nice. But the Gemara is telling us a miracle. How does her act with her oven create such a miracle? How does it relate to a miracle of such magnitude? Everything burns. Menschen fallen wie Fliegen. People are falling like flies. Their street doesn't burn. What's this? She left them oven. She let them use an oven. I mean, is it an act of luck? What is it? It's a phenomenon. Rashi says it's a miracle. The whole city is burning. All over is burning. This street, unscathed. People are falling like flies from a desert, from a plate. This street, people walk around like they're in Miami. Nothing. Because he loaned the shit. What is it? How does it relate? What's the relationship? This morning, I was thinking, I saw it, I'm telling you my whole day. You see, ha'odom nira le'einayim Hashem yira le'einayim. Ha'odom nira le'einayim, we look with our eyes. We see external dimensions. We see people. You're a person. I'm a person. You're a person. I remember when I went to see the first time in 1952 the Chazon Ish. And I went to his door and I had my hand on the knob of the door. I thought for sure he won't look like a human being. I thought of this. The Chazon Ish, the Chusser Yom Nalem, I thought I'll open the door, he'll look ethereal. I'll see through him. It'll be just like a ghost-like figure. That's what I thought it was. I came in, he stuck out his hand and said, Shalom Aleichem, I felt his hand. I'm telling you, my knees were shaking. And he smiled at me. I said, That's a human being. What do we see? You see a human being. Ha'adam nira leinai. Hashem yira l'leiv. The Rebbe Shalom looks into the heart of me. What do I mean to say? People are not the same. People do not have the same dimensions. We see a person. In Lashon HaKodesh, there's a term when you refer to a great Oiver Hashem, he says Adam Godel. Adam Godel. He's an Adam Godel. He's a big person. So I always used to think, Adam Godel, I used to think quantitatively. I said, an Adam Godel, he knows a lot. He has accrued a lot of mitzvahs. An Adam Godel, a big man. Didn't do nothing. A big Adam Godel means he has different dimensions. He is a giant. In Ruchnius, he is big. He's not the same as I am. This is a difficult concept to perceive, for the mind to catch it. That in the realm of Ruchnius, there's such a thing as a big person. He's bigger. I will show you what means bigger. He is. I am small. I have such and such dimensions in my life. And that person has altogether different dimensions. He's bigger. What do I mean? What do I mean? This woman and this man, the man was in Surah and the woman was in some Hiktam, I don't even know what the name is. It's not, I don't even ever coming across the name again in the Gemara. This woman was an ordinary woman. She wasn't Ravuna. This man wasn't Rav. But in this man and in this woman, there was a unique talent. What was the talent? What was the talent? Let's analyze it. Let's break it down. They had a talent. They were concerned about the community. The woman, you could, a woman in a shtetl 2,000 years ago. A peculiar woman. She was in a town, and it bothered her that the women don't have where to bake challah Shabbos. They have a difficult job. There are pictures of the type of ovens that they use in the time of Gemara. You could even see it today in the West Bank. I saw such a thing. Such a piece of mud hole. This, whatever. This woman was a peculiar woman. She had a peculiar talent, a peculiar genius. She was sensitive to the needs of the women in her section. She didn't take a course in awakening sensitivity. She had a genius. It bothered her. The lady down the block, she has to Erev Shabbos, she has a house with kids. Till she gets the cholera, it bothered her. Come, I have another. Come to me, my own. Says, this woman with that feeling, with that sensitivity, you look at her, she's a lady. The Gemara says they showed them in a dream that this woman is not a private person, she's not an Isha Pratis, but she's an Isha Tziburis. There's in her flows a vein, there's one vein in her that flows, that she is larger than herself, and it covers her street. Her shvivus, it covers the whole community. The man in Surah was a man. The trouble, those days before machinery, before big shovels, before hardware, to open up a cave, to open up a grave. This man, somehow he had it, and he was concerned, this is Kinderlach, Mazolas Nishdat, I have it. This man, in him, there pulsated in him a feeling, a consideration, a concern, which was a communal concern. This man, Bashamayim, they said, this man is not an individual, but he is a communal person. He is a communal personality. His neshama is tziburi. It's tziburi. The plague came to his street and the fire came to her street. So her dimensions, which were the dimensions of the whole street, that was the makeup. That was, her neshama was constituted the whole street. Her schus stopped the fire, couldn't pass. There was in that street a woman that, this woman, she wasn't a private woman. She had in her neshama, there was a beat in her neshama. She was concerned for the whole street. She stopped it. We live in a democracy. Long live the democracy. But there are side effects to the democratic process. Everybody's equal. Equal. Everybody's not equal. Everybody is not equal. There are people with talents in their neshama. There are people with nuances in their lives. There are people that have that the assumption of responsibility makes. We'll soon enumerate what it means. Responsibility makes them bigger. I remember, I told someone today, I used to see the Pun of Ezherov Zecher Tzaddik Levorach. I saw him numerous times. I spoke to him once. No, twice I spoke to him. I got a funny feeling when I was talking to him. I got a feeling I was standing, I spoke to a lot of big public Chacham, I didn't get that feeling, as if I was standing in front of royalty. In front of royalty. I remember we were in one hotel in Tel Aviv, by the ocean. I was sitting and watching his table. He was going to come down for breakfast. His Rebbetzin came down and put a rose on the table in a little vase. And he came down, he was very humble. And he sat down by the table. I was looking at him. I always got the feeling that I'm sitting in front of a king, a prince, a royalty. Very funny thing. I couldn't explain. A Lithuanian Jew, unassuming, and no matter how unassuming he was royalty. And that same morning, I was with him in a shul in Tel Aviv. So after the davening, it was a huge shul. There were a few hundred people there by the davening, an ordinary weekday. There was a long line of people. Everybody was standing in a line to say Shalom Aleichem. Again, I got the feeling of royalty. And I said something funny about this man. I couldn't figure it out. This morning I understood. I told somebody. He was caught out of Europe during the war. He was traveling out of the country, and they burned everything. Period. I don't have to go into the description. They burned his film, everything they burned. He was the only Lithuanian rabbi left from that country. The only Lithuanian rabbi. He was the only one. When he began to build what he built, which is unbelievable, he was 60, he was past 60. So he used to speak and used to say all the cities that they burned, wherever there was a yeshiva, he used to say, I'll put up a yeshiva in memory of every yeshiva that they burned. He did. He put up the Pun of Yeshiva. He put up in class people, furniture, this is an antique, and this is that, and beautiful home. About a home you shouldn't know from. What do I mean? No one comes into the house. They have no friends. No friends. It's a home, everything's in its place, and everything. And you come into the house, you feel very funny feeling. You see a beautiful home, a nice big home, it's beautiful. You get a feeling of narrowness, of asphyxiation to people. Christmas man, yes, thank you. What did you make? The dimensions are one by one. One by one. The world is so small. I sat in my house. I thought, it looked to me like a wax museum. It's not people. It's not that. One by one. This is my belt. I bought this thing. I bought here. This. the assumption of responsibility expands the dimensions of a person. One minute. There are things that we do every day. We do it dutifully. We do it every day, but we don't assume the responsibility. You know yourself, there are things that we do day in and day out. We do it for ulterior reasons, but we don't accept the responsibility. That doesn't produce growth. That doesn't expand the dimensions. That, you remain the same. The courage to see the task and to assume the responsibility. The courage in Lashon HaKodesh, it's called Kabbalas Achrayus, to accept upon myself the Achrayus, to have the courage to take upon myself that experience. Not that I do it out of rote, not that I do it because other people do it, not that I do it because it's expected of me. I do it out of love, out of recognition. This is what I must do. Very interesting. Today, I spoke it over with somebody today. I was telling them over today. There's a medrash that says, you know, in Shir Hashirim, tell them also. The medrash isn't Shir Hashirim. The medrash says that David HaMelech in Tehillim uses 5 different expressions for the neshama. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, Yechida. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, Yechida. Naran Chai. The Rosh Hashanah. David HaMelech uses 5 different expressions for the name of the Neshama. These are 5 aspects of the Neshama. So the Medrash says that if a person struggles, if a person wants to expand his dimensions, a person starts off with nefesh. So the Gemara says, Zacha, he receives ruach. Zacha yativ, he tries more. He receives neshama. He gets chayah, he gets yechida. It means that a person can expand himself, that a person can become bigger. A person can have different dimensions. A person can have different dimensions. We look people, yo, you look this way, nose, eyes, here, we're all people. It's not so. A person, the Chazal said, a woman in a town, everything is burning. You see this woman? She has the dimensions of the whole street. Her commitment, her assumption of responsibility for all. She had the response to assume the responsibility for the needs of the house of all the women in the street. She is the community. She's communal. She stands in front of the fire stops because she has those dimensions. Ordinary woman. Same thing with the man with the shop. But look at that interesting thing I saw in a sefer this week, that the Chazon Ish said the Kamenetz of Rosh Hashiva died in 1939, a few weeks after the war broke out. So the Chazon Ish said that as long as Rabbi Ber was alive, the Germans couldn't come into Poland. Why? So he said because his toiling, he was an unusual toiler. He arduously toiled in learning and taught students. His toiling was a wall against the Germans. And as long as, because I just said it, as long as he was alive, he said, they couldn't go. The Chazon Ish didn't say things just like this. He was a man, Rabbi Ber was a man that he had the concern for every yeshiva bach in Poland. And just like this man and this woman here in the Gemara, the Germans couldn't come. He died, something else. big problem. The democratic process is a big problem. People are afraid of becoming bigger. I know a Jew. I won't keep you. I know a Jew. You can even mention his name. Dr. Griffel's a friend of Roch. Who was this Dr. Griffel? He was a geologist. A big beard. Oh, a long beard like this. A European. He was a geologist. He was an expert in finding oil. Dr. Griffel never practiced geology. What did he do? I met him. A peculiar Jew. During the war, many fathers and mothers placed children in Gentile homes. Took them to the camps. They left the children. Griffel knew this. So Griffel himself carried on a battle to get the kids back. How could this Jew tell you? I met him once and I spent over an hour with him. I was listening to the phone calls. He knew an old lady in London who was friendly with the Dutch ambassador. He knew a man in Paris who was the Swedish ambassador's secretary. He made it his business to know hard people, diplomats in diplomatic circles. He knew a janitor in a building who was friendly with the Hungarian emissary to the UN. And he would sit all day and call people, international fools, to open the way for people. People came out. He got people out. But he too was a person, a frail little man, the big beard, who sat in an office in Fifth Avenue in a little room, and people backed him with, and he sat, and he's a man, has fingers on the whole world. Whole world. He told me about this woman in London, that she was an unusual woman, and she was friends with the Dutch ambassador, an old woman. And he would call London and talk to her, to tell the Dutch ambassador, to tell the Irish delegate, to speak to the Chinese delegate, something they should do to open up the door to let somebody go home. I sat in front of a man, I saw this man. He's not a private person. He's not a private person. He's a big, big, big man. He deals with the whole world. This is this guy. We have to know that assumption of responsibilities expand our dimensions. Expand your dimension. You assume. Kabbalah's oil means to assume the responsibility. I assume that I carry it, you're a bigger person. You assume another responsibility, you're a bigger person.